What if I told you that this beach could reveal evidence of Israel carrying out the Hannibal directive on October 7th? Israel just announced the reopening of the Zakim beach, which is just 15 minutes from the Gaza border. Zakim beach has been closed to the public ever since October 7th, 2023, when Palestinian resistance forces carried out their operations against Israel. At 6:30 in the morning on October 7th, Palestinian resistance fighters attacked the base with a barrage of rockets, while other forces used speedboats to escape Gaza, racing past the border wall and gun turret towers that extended out into the ocean and made landfall on Zakim. Prior to making landfall, the IDF intercepted and eliminated about 2/3 of the fighters, but 11 Palestinian fighters still managed to make it through. Their target was the Bihad military base, otherwise known as Batar Zakim, which literally translates into Zakim Training Base. By 7:30 in the morning, the base was under attack. Resistance forces took out 6 officers and 1 recruit before withdrawing. According to the IDF, these resistance fighters started their attack by massacring 17 civilians on the beach before continuing to the military base where they killed these 6 officers and the recruit. But there is an issue with this narrative. As we all know, Israel carried out the Hannibal directive on October 7th, which is a policy of deliberately eliminating Israeli soldiers and civilians to prevent their capture. There are numerous eyewitness accounts describing how Israeli commandos eliminated everyone in the homes of a kibbutz, how Apache helicopters destroyed cars containing Israelis, Palestinians, or both near and around the Gaza border, and Merkava tanks firing shells directly into the homes. There is even an account of an Israeli commander calling in an airstrike on his own position that was overrun by resistance forces. And an IDF officer told the media that they were ordered to carry out a mass Hannibal.
זה בכוונה, אם הופעל אז הוא הופעל בכוונה, אם נפגעו חטופים במקרה זה משהו אחר.
נוהל חניבל כנראה הופעל באיזשהו שלב, כי ברגע שהבינו שיש חטיפה, אז הם מיד אומרים, חבר'ה, זה חניבל. אבל בחניבל שאנחנו התאמנו עליו כל ה-20 שנה האחרונות, זה רכב שיודעים מאיזה נקודה בגדר הוא נכנס, מאיזה רכב, באיזה צד הוא נוסע, ואולי אפילו על איזה ציר הוא נע. פה זה היה חניבל המוני.
And Defense Minister Yoav Gallant admitted it himself in an interview many months later.
ניתנה הוראה לנוהל חניבל? אני חושב שבאופן טקטי במקומות שונים ניתנה, במקומות אחרים לא ניתנה, וזו בעיה.
So it's clear that the Hannibal directive was carried out consistently across the entire battle space as an official military directive. Now let's return to Zakim Beach. The IDF claims their Navy gunboats eliminated resistance forces as they were approaching the beach, as well as when they were in the process of landing onto the beach. There were Israeli fishermen and beachgoers that were eliminated on that morning, possibly by naval forces opening fire onto the entire beach. In an interview with Matan Shlomo, the son of Aline Shlomo, conducted on October 7th, Matan tells Ran Binyamini, Canbet radio host, that a Navy boat fired indiscriminately towards the beach, seemingly in an attempt to take down at any cost a number of Palestinian resistance fighters who were arriving at the beach on inflatable boats.
המון פצמ"רים להיות בחוף, להפציץ את כל חובזיקים. אנחנו היינו בחוף הצפוני לכיוון המכשול שבנו. באיזשהו שלב, אחרי כמה דקות, תבורה של הצבא שלנו התחילה לראות עלינו על החוף.
והסירות של חיל הים שירו על ה...
הם ירו על כל עבר, זה לא משנה מי היה בחוף. אם היו אזרחים או לא אזרחים, הם פשוט ירו.
In this video clip here, you can see the fighters landing on the beach. They appear to start firing. Now, the Israelis would tell you that they were just firing on civilians, massacring them for no reason. But check this out. In the footage, you can see bullets hitting the sand right in front of them, suggesting that there were IDF soldiers on the other side firing at the resistance forces. From a Ynet article about the Army investigation into the Zakim events on October 7th, published on May 4th, 2025, they confirm that there were actually IDF fighters there. Quote, one particularly chilling moment stood out. 6 Golani fighters leave their position in the beach parking lot, retreat, and effect flee after spotting about 10 terrorists a few dozen meters away from them. They should have remained a buffer between the terrorists and the civilians who were hiding in the toilets and under cover, the IDF said. The Golani fighters that retreated from the parking lot explained that in their eyes, it was not an escape at all, but rather a retreat to a better point, due to 2 reasons. According to them, there was heavy and unidentified fire near them that in retrospect turned out to be cannon fire from a Navy ship, which they described as similar to 2 combat helicopters spraying the beach at the same time. Now, what's very suspicious about this is that the part about the helicopter spraying the beach is only in the Hebrew version of the article. If you read the English version, you won't find any mention of this. This suggests that the Israeli media may be attempting to conceal this information from Western audiences. Now let's recap. You have naval gunships firing heavy rounds rounds onto the beach, with Israeli witnesses stating it didn't matter who was on the beach, whether they were civilians or not, they just fired. You have evidence of IDF soldiers hiding in the bathrooms with civilians, and you have evidence that there were IDF soldiers in the parking lot firing on resistance fighters who made landfall. With this information, there are three scenarios for you to consider. The first is that resistance forces simply slaughtered everyone, including civilians, because they're just anti-Semites and that was their intent. Or 2, they accidentally killed civilians when targeting the IDF soldiers that were hiding with them in the bathroom. Or 3, IDF commandos and naval gunships killed everyone on the beach as Matan Shlomo suggested. Now before you make up your mind, consider this. One of the Israelis murdered at Zakim Beach was 17-year-old Or Tassa. At 6:39 a.m., he messaged his mother Sabine telling her he was hiding in the bathroom and could hear missiles and gunfire outside, telling her not to worry as he wouldn't leave the bathroom until it was safe. It seems Or was killed while hiding in the bathroom, however, as there is a very gruesome video of the aftermath revealing lifeless bodies. Now here's where the circumstances of his death come into question. Sabine claims that the IDF had wiped Or's phone of all footage before returning it to her after his death. So the question is, why would the IDF allow this footage to exist, but not the footage from Or's phone? Sabine answers that question for us. She told Israeli media Kan 11, quote, "It seems like those murdered at Zakim Beach filmed something that the IDF doesn't want seen." Recently, Matan's mother, Aline Shlomo, posted WhatsApp screenshots from her son Matan, who was hiding at Zakim Beach during the attack. On October 7th, 2023 at 1:51 p.m., she says, "Did you encounter terrorists?" Matan replies, "Yes, 25. Terrorists got off rubber boats. I filmed it all. The army dropped bombs on us. Me and Roy are the only ones alive. Everyone's dead, Mom. Lots of bodies on the beach." When asked later what the army dropped bombs on us meant, Aline replied to a user on Facebook, quote, "The army gave a Hannibal directive order bombing the entire beach, including everyone in it because of the number of infiltrating terrorists." It gets even more suspicious. In December of 2023, the Jerusalem Post reported that the IDF had removed critical surveillance footage from the Gaza border from the central database. During a recent visit by senior IDF officers to various brigade headquarters, a troubling revelation came to light. It became apparent that surveillance camera footage along the Gaza border, dating back to the day the war with Hamas broke out, had mysteriously vanished. Furthermore, critical recordings from that Black Shabbat had been removed from the central database. One senior reserve officer from a brigade recounted the situation, saying, "We had planned to show one of the key figures a video of a particular incident from last week, only to discover someone had deleted the videos." According to the Army investigation, Zakim has near zero proximity to Gaza, so it's possible this footage captured Israelis massacring civilians on the beach, which is why they wanted to delete it. But there's more. The Army investigation suggests that some civilians were killed or injured by accident. Quote, "In addition, the traffic routes in the Zakim sector were not blocked throughout that morning, and civilians who tried to escape entered the line of fire and were injured." They continue. "Armored fighters and naval forces continued to rain down powerful fire onto the land that morning." The Palestinian resistance forces were lightly armed, brandishing grenades and AK-47s. But somehow, the beach was so destroyed that Israel had to keep it closed for over 2 years and spent more than $6 million on reconstruction. This should give you an idea of how much fire the IDF rained down on the beach. It's no wonder 17 civilians were killed. This is just another example of the IDF either deliberately or accidentally killing their own people, then blaming it on the Palestinian resistance forces to justify their genocide in Gaza. Sabine Tassa, the mother who suggested the IDF erased her son's footage to hide something, actually told the media several times that she wanted all the Palestinians in Gaza to be killed. The truth is right in front of her face, yet she and the IDF continue to lie about what happened on that fateful day. Now, if you want to see more of my work debunking Israeli propaganda, check out the documentary I co-produced with Max Blumenthal called Atrocity Inc., which thoroughly challenges the IDF's narrative. Anyway, thanks for watching. A special thanks to Eric Ragnar and Korabika for supporting my work with super thanks comments. Your support keeps me going. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Is there anything that I'm missing? Until next time, take care of yourselves.
Trust nothing. No